Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this Bannerlord Retrospect with me, Zergmuffin, and Kaseke. Hello, Kaseke. How are you this evening?
I'm fine, thank you.
Fantastic. Well, thanks very much for the footage and for agreeing to go through this retrospect. I thought it was a really interesting game. Obviously, we've gone through another exciting Saturday night in the Bannerlord captain community. A lot of interesting games. I really like this one between LoV and Merc. So I just thought it would be a good idea to get the video and talk through with you, sort of ask you some questions, see what you're thinking, see what the strategies were, and see how it goes.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So LoV obviously is a combination of the two European clans, KOV, Kingdom of Valandia, and LB, Legion of the Betrayed. Been rivals for a long time on the European captain scene, sort of combining forces for this tournament. And Kaseke, rising star of the KOV clan, rising to the ranks, and now a firm regular on the tournament team. So yeah, against Merc, which I believe, Kaseke, you probably know a bit more about Merc than I do. They're a combination of sort of lone wolves, I think.
Yes, that's indeed what they are. And I feel like in this Saturday's match, they actually had a very strong team going. They've been chasing it up like every week, I think.
I thought they were really good. I really liked. It was quite a challenging composition you presented them with, and they did a really good job. We'll talk about it when we come to. They did a really good job with their pincers, trying to catch the Khan's guards. I thought I was really impressed, actually.
We actually had a really hard time in this match, especially, and I mean, really gotta give them props for the work they did.
Absolutely, it can be a really tough match. Kaseke versus Empire. Empire firm favourites, I think, in the latest sort of spreadsheets I've seen. The Kaseke are second to bottom.
Yes.
Just above Britannia, about 40%. But I find with the LoV and KOV in general, the Kaseke tends to be a more favoured faction, one of the favourites. Why do you think that is?
Well, so far we have won every game we have played with Kaseke in the league, and it is a very strong faction for us, especially because the meta right now in the whole of the series seems to be taking a lot of infantry. So we have been trying to kind of counter that, not actually take the melee approach. So we have been doing the 4-2 combo, which is very popular, like whichever kind of combination you're playing. People usually take 2 of something, 4 of something, and we have chosen with the Kaseke take this combination because the Khans are definitely one of the strongest suits of the Kaseke.
Absolutely, and as you'll see through, I mean, I think you've taken a peeler or a Menvalian hit or something, and it's only taken about 55, maybe 60% of your health.
Yeah,
I really like the Khan's Guard unit. They're so strong.
Yeah,
they're so strong. If you think about exactly, if you think about a Menvalian, even if like they're against a Varyag or they're against a sergeant or something like that, you know, they've got the armor, they've got the shield and so on. But I think they would I can't see them lasting any longer than a Khan's Guard against the Menvalian.
No. Usually you can 2-hit pretty much anything with the Menvalian.
Exactly.
Unless you get a really bad like point of strike, in which case it does do lower damage. But if you get the good hit, it's usually 2 hits and everything's done. It might be even 1 hit if you get the headshot. Weaker units get killed even from chest.
Well, let's just catch the viewers up to where we've got to here. So you guys you seem like you're pushing up to C, and they came to meet you in a sort of melee zerg. You guys sort of kited back. You can see in the kill feed now and then you've got your 2 LB. There we go, Forbes. Picking off the sort of units one by one while the Khan's guys kite. So how were you sort of feeling at this point in time? What was going through your head?
Well, most of all, the most important thing to do when you are actually using the archers as a main unit basically is to just run as fast as you can. You do not want to engage in the melee if you don't have to. You never want them to catch you up. And
although with Khan's Guard, if they do catch you in melee, it can go either way.
They can. But here they have the Manavlians, which are a very dangerous unit, even against the Khan's Guard. And see, here they catch, I think that's Tim and Harry. They catch them, you can see they get the sandwich going, Manavlians on both sides. I mean, they do manage to do a lot of damage.
This is what we were talking about. I really like the way Merc was setting up these pincers, and that's exactly the way to counter skirmish play on this map. I thought they coordinated that really well. I also like the way you guys have all split up as well. So as they're sort of luring that army all the way through, you and your guys are in a good position to. And Phil's guys in a good position to shoot at the side. That for me is just perfect, because it's not just about running away, it's about where do you lure them to and what's the fire angle. So
the communication in this tactic is so important. You have to be talking with your team constantly. You have to know where everybody is to be able to pull off like the maneuvers to actually catch anything with the bows. And cavalry is very important with that, as well as the players running away, actually communicating what's happening to them, who's chasing them, how many.
Friendly fire in the balls.
Yes, that is a risk you take when you go in front of your own archer units.
I noticed your style in this match was you were doing sort of what I would call archer Ramboing.
Yeah,
was that fair to say?
Yeah. That's also very important, actually, Ramboing, because out of all the units, you are most likely the most accurate.
Right.
And even getting like one hit on any of the units can help either you or the cavalry one hit the unit in the next strike. So see, getting 30 damage with the arrow, it doesn't seem much. But imagine the cavalry guy.
Here we go. This is brilliant. Sorry to interrupt here. This is brilliant from Merc. They're coming out the front at the same time as they're coming the side, so they actually have almost get a pincer on you there.
Yeah, but you see there, I think that's Deviant coming into the rescue. Yeah. And actually holding back their infantry a bit so we can pull off from that engagement.
Absolutely, that's so strong. I mean, it's interesting, cavalry. They have so many sort of what you might call debuffs. Because I think often a lot of players feel like since they're so fast and they do a lot of couch damage, what you should do is run straight to the enemy, but that's not the case at all.
No. In our play, the most important job for the cavalry is to harass the infantry so they do not catch the archers.
Absolutely, yeah. And it's almost they almost play a debuff role, like you say. They slow down the infantry. Yeah. I sometimes feel they disorientate players quite a lot as well.
Yeah, and actually you can see in the next match, the Mercs take cavalry themselves, and they start to do the same thing for us, which makes our play a lot harder.
Well, like you say, the Cav has disorientated their remaining units. You guys have escaped with your archers, and you're able to get back and finish them off.
And I'm not sure, I think we didn't have a flag before, but one of our cavalry players went to catch it, and it seems that got the attention of the enemy's infantry units, and they pulled back to A, capture the flag, which helped us, obviously, because they weren't focusing on us at that point. And see here, me and Phil, who are sitting up outside.
Good kill.
Outside the flag zone of A, to get those final shots in and basically do a cleanup here.
That duel there just really that duel there really sums up what we were saying about the Khan's Guard earlier on. I mean, you see the way you were taking 2 hits from that Manvelian model, that player, and I'd like 90% of units would have gone down to the first hit. That's maybe a slight exaggeration, but still, it just goes to show how powerful Khan's Guard are as a melee unit.
What we like to say is Khan's Guards are actually the shock infantry of Huzaid.
Absolutely. They're certainly shocking him.
Yeah. There we go. And that's the end of the match.
That's great. That's great. Classic end to a skirmish match where you get the last units huddled around the flag and mown down.
Yeah.
So you decided to stick with the same composition in this round. Can you talk me through that?
I mean, basically, what we were thinking is keep doing what's working. Not much beyond that, honestly. But as you can see, the mercenaries or Merc, they're gonna be taking some cavalry.
So as we were saying at the beginning, Kaseke is often seen as an inferior choice against Empire. Why do you think that is in general?
I think because so much of the current like playstyles involves using melee units, infantry units.
Yeah.
Whereas Kaseke probably has the best archer units, and they have good cavalry. I wouldn't say best, but it is very effective. And with the glaive, it is very effective against archers actually too.
I've noticed the LB Cav boys there. They're choosing the lance and the shield combo. A lot of players would go for the glaive. What do you think about that?
Well, the shield gives a lot of protection. A lot of the units, especially with the long Menavlians, if you see them rush through the Menavlians, the shield takes a lot of the hits, and it's very important also for the cavalry not to give any horses to the opposing team. So the hope is that the horse actually dies before the player dies.
Right.
So you want to keep taking those hits with the shield, and leave the horse to do the tanking until it dies.
Absolutely, I see what you mean about the horses giving you trouble in this round.
Yeah, and like if they had given or had died on horseback without the horse dying, you can see this. One of their players got one of our horses here. Yeah. The legionary player, and he's already given trouble to the cons there.
So what would your advice be to players who find themselves in this situation? They're an arch unit and they're being swarmed by cav.
Just run, and call for your own cavalry to help you. That's basically all you can do in this situation. Don't engage. Do not try charging. Just keep running. Maybe pick off the units yourself. Especially do not press F1, F2 to make the units follow you, because then if you die yourself, they're gonna charge, they're gonna stop, and they're gonna get caught.
That's such a tough situation. I've been in that position myself a few times. It's difficult. I suppose for me, with Khan's Guard, if it was just one unit of cavalry on me, I'd be very tempted to charge.
But but you don't want to do that, because if you die yourself, you're gonna be in trouble.
With such a swarm of melee directly behind, there's no way that's going to pay off.
Yeah, they killed me, but my units keep running. I think I actually end up getting caught. Yeah, this is my last unit here. They actually caught me, and you can see how dangerous the cavalry is to the archers.
Yeah.
And in these matchups, the most important job at the beginning of the round is for the cavalry to try and take those horses down.
Yeah.
You gotta be taking the horses down. Don't even care about the players. Just keep couching the horses, keep killing the horses.
So was the idea here to make B a bit of a kill zone? Is that sort of were you trying to drag them towards it?
Yeah, I mean, we spread out pretty hard at the beginning of the game. We saw that they are good at making those sandwiches, so we decided to spread out. We see where they go, and we try to lead them to the other cons so we can get those shots in and get a nice little circle around them.
That's a very challenging. I like the shots you're getting there over the.
Yeah,
over the hill.
I saw the Menavs going in, and I'm basically just taking pot shots here because I know that they are still there.
So they have the flag. You're all pushing up from B.
Yeah, that's the final flag. This is the most dangerous point of the game. Yeah, they got the couch there, and I'm dead. This is definitely.
This is on the other side. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the like probably riskiest part of play, because if you are not controlling the flags at the end, you have to go in, and they have the advantage.
This is very brave from DB. It's very difficult to successfully lance Menavlians, I find. They're so anti-cavalry.
It is, but it is easier when they have some distractions, like here you see.
Absolutely.
But yeah, a lot of the skirmish play has to do with actually having skillful cavalry players. You cannot pull it off unless your cavalry is very skilled.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. It can be really difficult to make, especially against other organized six stacks, to make archers shine, particularly, but
Yeah,
cavalry as well. But
and
cavalry as well, and but when you play them together with synergy, when you use the strengths of the cavalry with the strengths of the archer, and they sort of balance out each other's weaknesses as well, they can be really powerful.
yeah, and honestly, when you do this play, you shouldn't be expecting to actually have every unit survive to the end. Someone
No,
is almost always gonna get caught, and you just want to make the best of that. And see here,
oh, I fancy your chances in the melee. Yeah.
here we actually do the call to go left and take the left unit out, but Harry here gets a bit confused and starts going right.
Maybe he thought you meant the other left.
Yes, and I think Tim gets wiped because
So I think that's a good point you make about sort of making the story. I guess for me, the reason I would go this full skirmish is because I wasn't confident that the faction I had the ability to beat the other faction in a melee fight.
Yes, yes.
So in that,
that is the basis. Basically, we have mostly been doing the skirmish plays with Aserai and Usaid because they do not have that strong of infantry.
yeah, certainly compared to Valandia, compared obviously to Empire,
Yeah,
but I think it's
Empire,
a really
yes.
good string to your bow as a team if you can pull off a sort of horse and archer skirmish combo.
Yeah, it gives you more options. It lets you keep that precious skip for the even worse matchups.
I would never skip Kaseke. The Khan's Guard is, I mean, I honestly think if you had a unit of Khan's Guard, and I think it's happened before, if you had a unit of Khan's Guard versus Legionaries, obviously it depends on the loadout a little bit, then the Khan's Guard will win.
Yes, most times, yes. Unit of Khan's Guard should be able to take out a unit of Legionaries rather easily.
Hmm.
Even
So what would you do? What would you do if you were the Mercs in this situation? They've got morale.
Yeah, actually, they won this one. They won this round.
Mm.
They played that round very well.
Mm. They did, yeah.
Here we do exactly the same play. That is definitely one of the weaknesses of the skirmish play. The flags are very hard to control. The cavalry, which usually would take the flags at the beginning, it doesn't have that luxury in the skirmish play. It has to protect.
Yeah, certainly when the enemy team takes
yes, actually
takes cavalry.
Here we made the call at last second to take a third cavalry unit. And I tried to take the shield, but I accidentally took a lance. No, glaive.
And do you think that and so you put, like you say, you prefer the shield for this style
I
of play you're going for?
definitely prefer the shield.
So you've gone for 3 cav, 3 archers here. I guess is that in direct response to what you were saying, the map control issue you had in the previous round?
That and also
he does the classic.
Yes,
classic
he
bait
did.
you in and jump at the last one. You got to be careful for that. With that double tap gives you such power.
It does.
At the end of your lance.
It was to them having the flag control and also to actually take out that cavalry, which is so important. You take out 2 units of cavalry, they are basically down 2 units. You don't have to kill the units, you have to just get the horses. And that gives you a lot of options after. As you can see here, I am not aiming for the players. I try to coach the horses here.
Mm.
And
so it looks like they're all being pulled into a sort of kill zone at the back. Is that the intention here?
I am actually not sure. I don't remember.
Just
I remember at this point what the
red.
you can see Phil running out here. They did a very quick charge at us.
Yeah, they've done an excellent job of shutting you down there.
We have been doing a lot of basically luring the team to the spawn to get a nice kill zone going. But I am not sure if this is one of those games.
It's sometimes I sometimes feel it can be a bit of a weakness with the Rambo Cav style, where you sometimes when I play Cav, I like to have my cavalry with me for these situations because it can really help the archers get away a lot
yeah,
more.
see,
if
here,
it's a
my
whole
cavalry
unit
is
running
actually
through.
at the spawn. I'm gonna run them through here. I think.
Especially when we've got those enemy cav to deal with. I just find it can be really
Yeah.
powerful to have all your boys following you along.
It is very useful. Most useful, I think, when you're trying to get an escape for the archers, yes, but also when you are actually trying to kill archers from the opposing team.
Yeah, all that bumped out. It can be so frustrating as an archer if you get run over by 8 cavalry all in a row. Okay, so you've still got Sir Timothy's alive and Dr. Filler alive, almost with full.
Yeah, they both got
contingent.
away there. Dean and me and Forbes basically gave them that opening. I think that is Devi and Forbes fighting these legionaries. You see they are distracted. I go in for the kills.
And he
And he dies, and then I run away
be
because they do have the spears. I don't want to get caught by them.
So you're down to units at this phase, but the enemy is split out over quite a large portion of the map. What's your objective from here on?
Basically keep them spread out. Get them in the kill zones. You can see they are still on the tail of Phil.
Oh wow, that's a lot of them.
Yeah, they're all on the tail of Phil, and that is basically what they want to do. In this situation. You want to get those units one by one. You don't want to go after all of them at the same time. And especially now that we only have 3 cons, and now that Tim is dead, only 2, it makes it even harder for us to get those kill zones going to lure them in. And I think that is the weakness of the 3 cavalry and 3 cons, and why we usually choose to go 4 and 2.
I think certainly with the Khan's Guard, you've got the opportunity to go 4 and 2 because the Khan's Guard are so good they can hold their own in melee a lot of the time. With other factions, I do favour 3 cavalry, just because other factions are archers. You could say, with the exception of Fian, but then they don't have good cavalry.
Yeah.
Just don't stand up to melee. So they actually need
Palatines
the horse
too.
support.
Palatines too can pull it off, but I think they are a bit slower than the cons, and they have the good infantry. They don't need to use this kind of tactic. And also the cavalry cannot couch, which kind of bogs it down. Although they do have best armor. But it is a lot harder to pull off. Here I try to give my horse to Phil. I tell him to kill me so I can get another horse for myself, and he ends up swinging and killing the horse I gave him.
Some people are just not very grateful, are they?
Yes indeed. And here I go for him again. He asks for another horse, and me as the gracious man, I go and give him one. And I send my own cavalry.
You're right. It's very powerful for just a lone player to be on a horse just disrupting people.
Yes.
And Phil is extremely good as Cav, in my opinion.
He is very good.
I've seen him make Battanian Cav pay off on this map, actually, so props to Phil.
Yeah. And here I actually try to distract the legionaries so Phil can get away safely.
This is, I think that other teams could find it frustrating, but this is one of the things I like about both LB and KOV. We really do fight until the very bitter end. There's very few games I see where people give up and go, "Oh fuck it, let's charge." It's always long, drawn out, fighting for every single inch, and I don't know. It's something about it really tickles my fancy.
Yeah, I mean, some of the other games we did on the same day against TPO especially, there were some really close ones, where it seemed for a while that we were gonna lose, but we actually pulled off the win at the end.
Absolutely, yeah. It's really important not to, because literally anything can happen in this game if you sort of have the attitude that you're going to keep fighting to the end. You'll be surprised how many times it pays off.
Okay, here you can see we are running out of time. The morale is going down. We need to get those kills. We need to get the cons in. I tried to save the cons from the legionaries, and well, it's no avail.
So just to talk about your TPO game, you won that 2-0, picking up the 2 points there. I believe Grendel has got the footage. He's going to be doing a sort of retrospect on that game. Props to Grendel. Keep doing what you're doing. Love your videos, mate. So what were you? That was before this match. How are you feeling after the Merc the TPO game?
Well, of course it was good. I felt good. We won both of the games. It was very close games though. Like all the rounds, I feel were pretty close at the end, if I remember correctly. We did end up winning, I think, 3-0 on the second matchup, and maybe 3-1 on the first one. I'm not quite sure. But yeah.
You did a dirty finish on one of the rounds as Azrai. I seem to remember you nicked a horse and you had an archer and you just you single-handedly killed the remainder of the enemy team. It's well worth a watch. So if you do want to see some good Bannerlord play, do watch that.
There was a lot of kind of solo play on that one too. And honestly, the Azrai game, especially where we were doing the same skirmish tactics as we are here, was very interesting. But yeah, actually, what we are watching now is us doing a change-up.
Yeah, absolutely.
We expected them to take the cavalry. We expected them to take the legionaries. And we decided to take the rabble rush approach so we could catch them off guard.
Merc unfortunately seemed to have dropped a player there. That's always extremely frustrating.
Yeah, they did get one disconnect. And I don't think the player ever actually jumps back in. Nobody jumps in. They don't even get a random, which is probably for the best, honestly.
Yeah. Because at least that way they get the extra models and have a little bit more staying power.
Yes.
That's great. So you're all chasing them really hard. Why do you think they're sort of peeling away from you at this point?
I think they might want to get the Pilas off. And try to get the wrap around us instead of us getting the wrap around them.
Yeah.
See, there they get...
Both
Menavlions are on the side, but actually here the Menavlions come to the center to help the legionaries.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I really like that play by Merc. They split the legionaries off from the Menavlions.
And here it actually looks very dangerous for a while, but the kill feed turns back to our favor in a second there.
Oh yes, I remember when I saw this. I thought you'd lost this melee, but there's so many rabble on the field. You can lose 10, 12, 13, and still have another 10 left.
Exactly, and we bet on the rabble winning this round. We bet on them having that cavalry, so their infantry wouldn't be that strong. The rebels are very hard to charge through with the cavalry. It's very hard to distract them with the cavalry, because they are such a mass. And yeah, we end up winning this, and after that it is 2-2.
Well, I think that was a good play, a good call. Obviously, you knew what they thought you were going to do.
Yes.
And countered it, so that's. I really like it when teams can sort of make these composition calls, which throw things up and mix things up and win the match. So good call there.
And here, the enemy is still running away from the rebels that are actually chasing them on charge. Tim is there on their tail. Heal is the last one alive.
Well, that's fair enough. I mean, teams like to talk tactics, there is such a big. I find a lot of teams are used to quite short matches, so if you can actually drag the game out a little bit, it can have a big psychological impact, and that can give you an edge.
People do get frustrated when the match actually draws out. And here we actually do another counter. We expect them to go infantry, counter the rabble rush, and as you can see soon, it does pay off for us.
Perfect. Oh,
A lot of
4
Manavlians.
Manavlians, 1 Legionary. That composition. That's game over.
Yeah.
So you're all splitting up really early. That's really great to see. Obviously, you're thinking about those angles. You're getting into those positions, and all made so much easier because of the cav, or their lack of cav. So can you tell me what it is you're looking to do in this A push?
Well, basically we decided we go in groups of 2 and 1-on-1. One of us goes C, one of us goes A, and 2 basically wait at the spawn and see what happens and work from there. And I think Forbes here tells me that I should stay at the hill. They have the Manavs coming to A to capture the point there. And I actually hide my units. I hope they don't see me. I go behind the rock myself. And just wait for them to pile in and see what they do.
That is going to be such a juicy target when you start shooting.
Yeah, not getting any shots in here, not doing the ramboing, just hiding and waiting and seeing what they do. Taking it easy, taking it slow. See, we have captured all the flags at the beginning. Now they get A. They are all together, and we are basically wielding the field.
A, this is such a difficult map to be on if you have 4 Manavlians against 4 archers. And in A as well, where there's, you know, from their spawn side, from the center, from where you are, they can be shot from all angles.
And here I see that they're starting to pile out of A. So I do come in. But then they do see me, they stay, but I'm getting those pot shots in again. Getting the chip damage.
There's Deviant going one of his Rambos, I like it. What would you have done in this situation if you were Merc?
Definitely get the Manavlians out of A. First thing. Either start rushing me or get to B. And yeah, here we see, I think Deviant takes the flag again for us. And the Legionaries actually come for me. And soon you're gonna see they're gonna pull off another one of their sandwiches. They have 1 Manavlian going to our spawn from B. And they
I'm
actually
surprised at that,
catch
because
my units.
to get from A to the spawn, oh, there they are there. To get there, they would have had to have come out of B and along the front. I would have hoped that your other archer companions could have picked off a few more models on the way there.
But the basic principle of the skirmish is you run or you have to run.
So they might have been pressured in another way.
Yes, indeed.
Meaning that they weren't available yet for that maneuver.
They were probably getting some shots in on their backs. Maybe not. Hard to tell. I didn't see what was happening there. We didn't get anything on the kill feed, but you don't get most of the kills at the start of the game. It usually comes to that end, or catching single units alone with a lot of cons. And you can actually see there's Deviants or Forbes horse stash at the edge of the map to hide their horses from the enemies.
I like what you're doing here. You're luring these unarmored, unshielded Manavlians into Tim's firing line.
Yeah. Here I make the call for Tim to get the shots. With me. We stop, both of us stop. I tell my units to stop and shoot in a minute.
Yeah, I noticed you using that command actually. I thought that was that's really a higher level archer play in my opinion. There are just a few little archer tricks you can do. Stop, face direction, fall back. That give you a little bit of an edge when you're trying to eke out some kills.
The stop function is especially useful because a lot of the times you want to be facing the enemy yourself. Get those small chip damages in with the ramboing. So you can tell your units to run, and when you notice that the enemy is falling back or something, you just tell them to stop. You don't have to look at your units. You just tell them to stop and start shooting. And you get those shots in, and just work forward from there.
Well, this game couldn't have been any more perfect from your perspective. I mean, the flag is B. I personally call B the death trap. There's so many angles for archers to set up.
B is always the one on this map that you wanna kind of strive for. You wanna get the last flag to be B, so you can get the surround going. Usually, you see them going to the flag and trying to protect it.
Yeah.
And especially here, we have the morale, like, we have the better morale. They are in a hurry. And we
that was
have all the
that was a
time.
really good call to switch up twice in a row there. It really threw them off and meant you could get the matchup that was perfect for a skirmish build.
Yeah. Here
Yeah,
I'm
I find
trying
it
to
so
get
hard
the
to
arrow
defend
from
that.
the shield.
Yeah, I find it so hard to defend at B when you've got archers. I suppose for me personally, what I would try and counter it is bunch up on one side and push a flank
Yeah.
together and try and isolate an archer off. What would be your approach to busting out of this situation if you were Merc?
Hard to say, honestly. Probably just try to bunch up, get the shields in the front, and go for any of the archers, but honestly, it is very hard to counter at this point. They don't have many units left. They are very spread out. And we have a very good semicircle here.
Mm.
So it's very hard to pinpoint anyone to actually go for.
I don't know how conscious it was, but I actually like what they've done going down this flank like this, because it takes them out of that kill zone in the center.
Yeah, but then
it means if they do decide to push you, it's in one single flank.
Yeah, but then they are running out of time also, because we have the morale power here. And you can see the single units capturing the flag.
They seem to have given up a little bit there.
They try to get the Manablians into the cons.
I didn't see that. That's fantastic. That's really good play from them, trying to get a pincer off right at the end.
And here they bunch up on the flag again. And we start running.
They were just too slow getting that center.
Yeah.
And getting into there. That could have been a really interesting sort of clutch pincer move if they'd just got the timing a bit better.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, here they start going back to the flag. We start pressuring them again. Getting that kill zone again. Getting those Rambo kills.
This was a 40-minute match, if I
it was
heard me correctly.
Very long.
It's quite
match.
the marathon.
Yeah, we did the full 5 rounds. Almost all of them ended up going the full 10 minutes. You can see the time here, it's 2 minutes left of the round. We're getting those last legionaries here. They're charging, I think Deviant here getting the kills.
Absolutely melting.
For us. Burning shields for the archers. That is actually also very important for the...
That's such a shame. They did so well coordinating pincers throughout the match. It's a shame to see them solo charging at the end there. Yeah. But I suppose that was just the situation they're in, you know. And this is what I'm saying about sort of the skirmish tactics and the fact that it sort of drags on nice.
Yeah. Here's some dueling there. There's a second one. I think we were North American servers, so we have the worst ping here. Makes it a bit harder to duel. I'm taking it very slowly here, and I finally got him.
And there you go. There's the point again. Hit twice through 2 duels by Manablians, and still going with 30% health. Khan's Guard are
yes. He did have a glaive, I think.
So what I was saying there was when you do play skirmish plays, you often find that the matches are longer, and I do think it is good for teams to practice that just from a psychological stamina perspective. I think sometimes you get teams which are used to very, very quick matches, and when they have these longer matches, they can find it challenging to stay together.
Yeah, it is very challenging. You see a lot of players just kind of start going for whoever, trying to get it over with, getting frustrated by being shot from afar, not like quite catching anything, which just basically makes our life easier.
Yeah. That was unfortunate for Forbes there being shot by the AI. But the AI hates players. The AI will kill you as soon as look at you.
Skynet next year?
Sorry, what?
Skynet next year.
Skynet next year, yes. Skynet starts with Bannerlord.
Yes. But yeah, actually we get the morale win here at the end. And honestly, we still do have the superior unit count. With the better units, we could have taken them out in the melee. I think they give up a bit here at the end, and basically just...
I mean, I don't blame them. As soon as they saw that unit drop at the beginning of the round, they must have thought it was going to be a tough one to pull off. But there you go, Karnsgard beating Empire, upsetting the meta, you might say, but a good map for it. Thank you, Kaseke, for talking us through that 3-2.
Thank you for having me.